Carmarthen County Showground hosted the pre-event technical and paperwork checks of the 2023 edition of the Roger Albert Clark Rally. Widely recognised as one of the world's most exciting and toughest motorsport challenges, the gruelling 5-day event, which tackled over 350 stage miles across 3 different countries, boasted a stellar 170-strong field, including former WRC superstars Chris Meek and Oliver Solberg. Beulah-based Ford Escort specialists Wales Motorsport fielded a strong 7-car team for the event, with Meek and his co-driver Noel O'Sullivan running at car 2. The 2023 British historic champion pairing of Roger Chilman and Patrick Walsh in car number 7. Paul Barrett and Gordon Noble returned once again after having certain victory cruelly snatched away from them on the last day in 2021 in car number 9. Sasha Kakad and James Aldridge at car 30, hoping to better their fine 10th overall on the previous edition. A newcomer to the event, Geraint Davis, with the vastly experienced Eirik Davis alongside in car 84, while Chris Cleghorn, another newcomer to the event and team, at car 102, would be guided by the dulcet tones of the experienced Ryland James. Finally, Lynn Davis returned with Aled Richards sat alongside in car 114. While the cars headed through scrutineering, we caught up with some of the crews and asked them about their thoughts and plans for the event.
Miriam, we're here in Carmarthen for the start of the Roger Albert Clark 2023. You're running 7 cars this year. This is a fair undertaking. What are your thoughts ahead of the event?
Obviously it's going to be hard. It's the RAC, this is what it's known for. So it's going to be a hard 5 days for all of us. We hopefully can get as many of them as we can to the end of the rally. To get there Monday night, that'll be the aim, to try and we get 7 is a miracle. If we get 5, that'll be great. And just do our best. That's all we can do. We're equipped with a good gang of lads, that's done it before. So it's a matter of seeing what we can do and what obstacles we can overcome when they arise, and they will arise.
Your cars have got a very good reputation for reliability. Have you brought many spares?
Yeah, we could possibly build another car really, or a couple of cars really, with what we got. So we should be able to keep on going. It's just a matter of luck of when something does go wrong, that it goes wrong at the right time, that we can sort it. Hopefully we've done our work before coming here. We've been at it for a month or 2 at least, so hopefully we've done our preparation correctly and our build up to it, so hopefully it should pay off hopefully by Monday night. Hopefully that's the plan.
And of course this year you've got Chris Meek, high profile driver. We had a test a couple of weeks ago. How did things go? Yeah,
it went quite well. Obviously Chris is a very thorough driver. It's been nice working with him up till now, because obviously you learn of people like that because they've got so much experience. But more than that, they've he's brought like a professionalism to it that makes us learn off that. Just the tweaks he's done to his car to his liking, and I'm sure guaranteed he will have had it right, because obviously that's what he does as a job. So hopefully it'll pay off for him and it'll work for him, and the car suits him, and he'll have a good event hopefully. Yeah.
And of course you got running Roger Chilman, the British historic champion, and you're also running the likes of Paul, who is running at the sharp end, Paul Barrett. So you've obviously got quite reasonable expectations for some strong results.
Yeah, we've got a mixture through the field, and we've got 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 flyers that could come up. And then we got some that are, their expectation is obviously finishing and getting round, and just embracing the challenge of being able to finish the RAC. So we just hope we can deliver and make not their dream come true, but that they accomplish what they want to start and do. But yeah, we've got a mixture of a lot of things. A couple of these guys, there's only one thing on their mind, and that's get to the podium. And whatever step on the podium that may be, we'll see on Monday night. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
You've got a fair team of people here. Do you know how many people altogether you've got?
I think including the crews as well, I think is, I don't know, 34, 35, maybe 36, 7, around there somewhere. I haven't really counted them. Obviously Anne would know, because she's done obviously most of the organising, which is a massive part of it. I probably wouldn't be able to do it without her. And also Ryland James, he's been good to us, so he's co-driving in one of the cars. Massive amounts of experience in rallying, so he's probably forgotten more than what I'll ever learn. So it's been great to have somebody like him with so much experience to help us along with the organisation of it. So yeah, it's obviously my skills is probably a bit to do with the cars more than the organisation side of it, because that's a different ball game again. But hopefully we got the mixture right, and we'll be able to accomplish what we come here to do.
Thank you, Marion. All the best for the event.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. Chris Meek, a man that needs no introduction in rallying. Welcome back to Wales. Roger Albert Clark 2023. What are your thoughts ahead of this event?
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating adventure for sure. It's something that's always been on my bucket list, but when I seen the itinerary released a few months back, all the best stages in Wales, North England, Kielder, Scotland, it had to be done. So yeah, I've been discussing with Marion since the beginning of the year, and yeah, finally we got things together, and then all of a sudden Oliver Solberg showed up as well, so it certainly added a bit of spice to it, but I've never done a stage rally this length. I think I've done the second ever longest stage in the UK was 2002 Rally GB, was 59 kilometres. I think this is 63, so on Sunday, but we have a long way to go to get to there. But yeah, 5 days, 40% of the rally in the dark. It's going to be a huge challenge, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Listen, it's just trying to build up a bit of confidence again in the car and myself, I suppose, but I'm trying to gel with Gordy. Just everything's looking forward. The car's brilliant, like, so Wales Motorsport built me a brand new car, so I'm looking forward to getting back out.
Fantastic. Hell of an entry this time. Some professional drivers. What are your thoughts about competing against the likes of Chris Meek, Oliver Solberg, Chris Ingram?
Yeah, there's no doubt about them boys. They should be in a different league, but listen, hey, not be for the one I'm trying anyway. So looking forward to it. Listen, there's a lot of competition out there, but it's great to be part of it, like, you know what I mean. And yeah, really looking forward to it. It's going to be good racing, like.
Well, obviously it's a long event this time, and haven't been in a rally car properly for a while. So first thing is bed into it and see how we go after the first day. I think there's a fair bit of trepidation. It's a long event, but the weather's much better this year, so hopefully it should be good.
Yep. And last time I think you had a 10th position, so obviously ultimately looking for a finish, but see how you get on.
Yeah, strong field this year, very strong field. I mean, the entry's unbelievable. Some of the guys in this team will be running very close to the front, and they've got great competition throughout the field. So I think to try and improve on our 21 finish would be lovely, but slightly optimistic. We like a bit of optimism. We'll have a go.
Yeah, no, finish is the first thing we've got to concentrate on. I'm just sort of telling myself that it's just a long rally. It's just a normal rally, but it's a long rally. But that's probably what I'm telling myself. But it's difficult to judge pace on a rally like this. But we've had the experience of doing it and doing a marathon events and getting results before. But that said, I've also gone off on this event in the first mile. So it's trying to judge pace, which isn't easy. Try not to get caught out by anything. Try not to do anything silly. Try and look after the car. That's an important thing. The car it'll be reliable. We just got to be sensible with the car. So just looking forward to it. We're lucky guys, really, getting to go out for 5 days rallying. So it's great.
You've obviously had a good bit of seat time this year, so that surely puts you in good stead.
Yeah, it should do. So at the beginning of the year, I found some good pace, and then latterly in the year, when I was just trying to finish events, I found that kind of 90% pace that sort of got me over the line in the championship, and it might be that sort of pace that suits this event. So hopefully we can find that sort of rhythm and pace and see where it gets us. Yeah.
Very excited, but a little nervous. As I've just chatted to you guys, this is my first ever event in a forest and on gravel, so big learning curve, and I'm hoping to pick a lot of tips off teammates and stuff like that. But the dream is to finish, So that's the plan, and we're going to try and stick with that. I've got a very experienced co-driver in Ryland that Marion, got to sit with me, so I'm grateful for that. So it's all down to him to get us across the finish line now. So that's the plan.
Just to get around it, really. Yeah, that's the main objective of this weekend anyway. Yeah, it's a long rally, 5 days, so yeah, just to get around it.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward. I haven't done it in over 10 years, and Geraint hasn't done something like this before, so it's a case of trying to manage it, and it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, so you've got to be there at the end. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Things can change from day to day, and just like Geraint said, it'll be a big achievement to get to the finish. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Finish. That's the main thing, innit? And enjoy it. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, finish is the main thing. It's such a marathon of an event that to finish is going to be a massive bonus.
And Lynn, you've done a bit of rallying in your time, but this year was your first go in the forest. How are you finding it?
I'm really enjoying it. I wish I'd done it a long time ago. And, yeah, it's good. Yeah, and a bit of help from Marion as well, and yeah, it's good. Yeah.
And Aled, you've done a lot of co-driving in your time. Have you sat with Lynn in the past?
Just this year, really. Yeah, I've been navigating for the last 24 years, and but this is the full sort of season in the forestry and the first shot of the Roger Albert as well.
It's been a good season, really, isn't it?
It has.
You know, we've won
5 starts, 5 finishes, and won the class in the Pirelli Welsh Forestry Championship. So. Yeah, car's been absolutely faultless all year, to be fair. I think the only thing that we changed in any event was just one starter motor, and that was it.
Yeah. So, Marion does a good job, then, doesn't he? Yeah.
Very good. Got a good reputation. So all being well, yeah, we'll see you at the finish.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah.
With scrutineering and all the pre-event checks completed, and with darkness now falling, the crews awaited the official beginning of the rally, the ceremonial start, held underneath the Christmas lights on a cool and crisp November evening in Carmarthen town centre. And with thousands upon thousands of fans lining the streets waiting to catch a glimpse of their favourite cars and drivers, this would surely be a night to remember. Resembling the RAC rallies of yesteryear, the atmosphere and buzz around the town of Carmarthen was electric. People commented they'd never seen so many rally fans in one place before, and as the crowds cheered, waved and reached for high fives, it was clear for all to see that this year's RAC rally was certainly going to be special. As first light broke, day one of the 2023 RAC had finally arrived, and fans settled in to eagerly await the day's action. The first Wales Motorsport car into Stage 1, Cruchan, would be that of Chris Meek and Noel O'Sullivan. We join them on board to get us underway.
5, 4, 3, 2, go. Long and 2 left and 2 right, it tightens long and opens to long, flat as 6 right, 100, line 3 left plus, and a long of 4 right, slowing, and very long 2 left, very long 2 left, stay neat, 40 down the middle.
Meek, in only his second outing in a Mark II Ford Escort in nearly 15 years, set off into the stages, knowing the pace from the very beginning would be furious. And whilst settling into a comfortable rhythm was key, getting used to a new car and co-driver at the same time would obviously give him something extra to think about. At the finish of the opening 16.85 kilometres of stage 1, Chris had recorded a time of 11 minutes 35 seconds, which was good enough for second overall, a mere second off the fastest time. Roger Chilman and Patrick Walsh were recently crowned the 2023 British Historic Rally Champions. But sadly for them, their RAC Rally dream came to a cruel end before it had even started, as after only a few miles the car's engine developed a misfire, sadly forcing them to retire from the event. After Chilman's early demise, Paul Barrett now took up the mantle of the second Wales Motorsport driver on the road. With long-standing co-driver Gordon Noble alongside, Paul set about stage 1 in his usual flamboyant fashion, dancing the Escort RS 1800 through the tricky twists and turns of Cruchan, delighting the watching fans, and no doubt having fun himself too. A good run through the day's opener with a time of 11 minutes 49 seconds would be good enough for 6th overall, 8 seconds off 5th place man Oliver Solberg, and more importantly just 15 seconds off the rally lead, which, having only driven one event since 2021, would surely be a boost to their confidence and give them a solid base to build on throughout the coming stages. Returning to the Wales Motorsport stable for a second time, and after a fine 10th overall finish on the last running of the RAC, Sasha Kakad and James Aldridge would be looking to get into a similar rhythm from the off. Sasha, a naturally smooth driver, more commonly known for his tarmac exploits, was aiming to get up to speed quickly after a lengthy spell on the sidelines, and whilst modestly not admitting it, looking to improve on that 10th place would surely be in the back of his mind. An opening stage time of 12 minutes 20 would see him in joint 23rd place overall, 46 seconds off the lead, a solid and sensible start in the slippery conditions. Driving car number 84 for the event, and a newcomer to the team and the world of historic rallying, would be Geraint Davis, with the hugely experienced Eirik Davis alongside. This event would be the first rally in over 14 years for Geraint, when he contested the Tour of Epint in a Nissan Micra, where coincidentally he was also car number 84. The ultimate goal for the pairing was to get to the finish of this marathon event, and where possible improve on their seeding, with the ultimate aim of pushing on in the darker stages, a place the pair felt most comfortable, owing to the night event experiences of the West Wales lanes. Joint 42nd overall, with a time of 12:48, was surely a very welcome start for them. Fellow newcomer to the Roger Albert Clark and also rallying on gravel, Chris Cleghorn made his debut seated at car number 102, expertly guided by Ryland James, a man who needs no introduction to the rallying world. Stage 1 would be a baptism of fire for Chris, with some sections of the stage extremely slippery after recent logging works, which made progress difficult. But it was clear to see on the stages that his knowledge of tarmac rallying and subsequent car control would help him ease into the event at a comfortable pace. After the opening stage, the pair were 91st overall. The final Wales Motorsport car on the entry list, crewed by Lynn Davis and Aled Richards, headed into the RAC after contesting 5 rounds of the Welsh Forest Championship together. Seeded at car 114, with the aim of a finish from the offset, Davis and Richards, whilst running near the back of the field, would have to endure some of the worst road conditions of all the crews entered, and with the vast majority of stages running in the dark, the night event expertise of co-driver Aled Richards would come in very handy. So, with a measured approach to the rally, they knew exactly what was needed to make it through the challenge ahead. After the opening stage, they sat in 109th overall. After the morning loop of Kevin, Walters Arena and Glasfynydd, the crews headed back into Cruchan for stage 5, and with spot lamps now fitted after service, 3 more stages would take us from dusk to darkness, and with rain in the air, things looked set for an enticing close to day 1. After a tightly fought battle with Osian Price and Oliver Solberg and a stage win in SS4, Chris Meek now moved into the lead of the rally, carrying a 2-second advantage over Solberg, who was now tied with Price for second. Meek was in fine form, as can be seen, but disaster struck midway through SS5 when he ran wide into a small ditch, picking up a puncture in the process. The pair pushed on for a few more kilometres when eventually they had to stop and change the tyre, losing minutes in the process. Frantically, the tyre was changed and they got back up to speed. They passed our cameras running 8th on the road and in hot pursuit of Chris Ingram in the TR7 V8. But sadly, this would be the last we saw of Meek and O'Sullivan. Damage sustained by the puncture and the ensuing time loss that came with it meant the team had to make the difficult decision to retire the car. For Paul Barrett and Gordon Noble, the opening 4 stages had been just what they needed. A string of top 5 times would see them enter stage 5 in 6th overall, a very encouraging start. Battling for position with 3-time RAC winner Marty McCormack and 3-time BHRC winner Jason Pritchard, Barrett looked fast yet controlled, pushing where he could, but in turn playing the long game and backing off when needed. His efforts were rewarded in this stage, with Pritchard also picking up a puncture, dropping him 39 seconds. And with Meek retiring, Barrett moved up 2 places to 4th, just 34 seconds off the podium places. What was left of the winter daylight was about to fade, and as Sasha Kakad and James Eldridge headed into stage 5, they were in 21st overall, tied with 2010 event winner Stefan Stoof. It was clear from the bark of the Wales Motorsport engine they weren't going to give up that place without a fight, jostling back and forth throughout the stage to take a 25th overall stage time and moving them 6 seconds up on Stoof, now holding 21st position on their own. Darkness had fallen by the time Geraint Davis made his way into stage 5, laying 57th overall, but he was now entering his favourite time to drive and looked set to deliver part 1 of his game plan. A fantastic performance through Cruchan 2 with a time of 13:03, good enough for 43rd fastest, meant he rocketed up the leaderboard by 8 places to now sit inside the top 50 overall. So far so good for Chris Cleghorn in car 102. A consistent pace through the morning loop kept him firmly inside the top 100, gaining confidence and knowledge with every mile completed. But now with darkness and rain to contend with, that challenge had ramped up a level. The rough, slippery conditions were proving to be a challenge, and with cars off in multiple places around the stage, a safe pace with no risks, although still a few hairy moments, was the order of the day. After all, just making it through day 1 is itself for many a massive achievement. Tantalisingly close to a top 100 spot, Lynn Davis and Aled Richards made their way into stage 5 after a long and challenging day, with 3 stages left to compete. They were in 103rd position, locked in a battle with 8 other cars, all within 8 seconds of each other. The stages were rough and the rain was now falling heavily, but concentration couldn't drop. The pair fought hard through the now heavily rutted and slippy stage, but would ultimately suffer, dropping 5 places to 108th, but still locked in that battle to reach the top 100. And so we reached the end of day 1, a challenging day for the Wales Motorsport team, losing 2 of its 7 cars, but with 5 of the escorts still competing and 4 more days still to go, it's all to play for. Here are the standings after the rally's opening 7 stages. As the remaining cars headed into the end-of-day service, we caught up with some of the crews to explain how their day went, while the service crews re-prepped the cars ready for day 2.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a big learning curve for Geraint. We've had quite a tricky day. We lost the first stage this morning. A car had a fire in front of us, so we lost that. So it was quite a long stage, so it's a pity we lost it because it took him a few of the short stages to get into it. But as the day's gone on, he's got better and better, and in the dark he was going very well. So no, on the whole, the car's in one piece. Main thing, we're back after day 1, which is a big achievement. Conditions have been really tricky out there. But no, really happy, ready for tomorrow now.
Yeah, well, we survived, and that was objective number 1, so we've learned so much there too. So as all you all know, my first time in the forest, so it was about survival, so thoroughly enjoyed it. Car's just totally awesome, absolutely bulletproof, so I'm really happy with that. Grid all around, yeah, now just need something to eat and probably a beer, then I'm happy. What they teach you on gravel are racing lines and stay smooth. And that just doesn't work when you get out there on gravel. You've got to be letting the car move around all over the place, or else you're just going to understeer off on a tight corner. Just totally different style. But I have to say huge thanks to Ryland, my co-driver, my navigator chap. So good. And you're getting advanced warnings and stacks of time to prepare for corners. So top guy, really happy with him as well today. He's got me through.
Day 2, Friday, consisted of 7 special stages and 75 stage miles, taking in some iconic Welsh forestry, including Hafren, Sweet Lamb and Halfway. And as the sun began to shine through the early morning mist, the army of marshals and spectators that had packed into the stages awaited the day's action. 4th placed man Paul Barrett headed into SS6 Esgar Berfedd with a slender lead over 5th placed Jason Pritchard. The pair had been battling throughout the first day, trading times until Jason picked up a puncture in stage 5. A fight back on the last 2 stages of the day then left things incredibly close going into day 2, with a mere 2 seconds separating them. Esgar Berfedd, a renamed section of stage used under the Cruchan heading on the opening day, was a 9.5 kilometre stage consisting of large sections of tight, twisty, tree-lined forestry roads with the occasional open section. Barrett and Noble set a time of 6 minutes 3 seconds, 8th fastest overall, but would drop 2 seconds to Pritchard, so the pair were now tied for 5th. Over the next 5 stages, Paul would continue to set a number of top 8 stage times, still holding on to 5th overall. While others around him moved up and down the leaderboard, his speed and commitment in stages far better known to many of the other crews around him was truly impressive. After stage 13, Paul and Gordon had dropped 1 position to 6th, now 2 seconds behind Seb Perez in the Lancia Stratos. Growing up, Sasha Kakad had always dreamed of rallying a Mark II Ford Escort on the RAC rally, so any chance he got to do so was always going to be special. He, along with co-driver James Eldridge, started day 2 in 20th overall. Their mission to get back into driving the car consistently had been working superbly up until now, and the pair moved up 2 places to 18th overall in the opening 2 tests of the day. After a short service halt, Kakad lined up car number 30 at the start of the longest stage of the day, and indeed the rally so far. The 24.3 kilometre Sweet Lamb Hafren test boasted fantastic sections of forestry roads, utilising the mecca of Welsh rallying, Sweet Lamb, before heading up into the fast-flowing roads of Hafren, a real treat for any driver, especially one driving an RS 1800. His pace building throughout the day, Sasha continued his push up through the leaderboard, moving up a further 2 places to 16th overall, heading into the last stage of the day. With day one under their belts, Geraint and Eric Davis were now feeling more at home in their Wales Motorsport Escort. And having previously driven at least one of the day stages, Geraint would see day two as a golden opportunity to start a push up the leaderboard. A steady run through the opening couple of stages would see them hold 43rd overall, but it was stage 10 where they'd make their biggest impact. Setting a time of 18 minutes 39 seconds, they gained 5 places in just the one stage, and heading into the night stages, things were now looking up for the pair. It takes a special lineup of driver and co-driver to work in perfect harmony when tackling any type of motorsport event in the dark. But for the Davis pairing, this was now their bread and butter. 4 more hugely impressive stage times were to follow, moving them a further 4 places up the leaderboard to 34th overall. With 9 places made up during the day, the long road section up to Scotland would surely be a happy one. As first ever events on gravel go, Chris Cleghorn had picked up an absolute dream event to make his debut, and after a good start on day one, he was looking for more of the same on day two. The opening 2 stages of the day proved to be happy hunting grounds for Chris. Using some knowledge gained from the previous day and some expert advice from co-driver Ryland James, he shot up 9 places to 82nd overall, and as they headed for the morning service, spirits were high. Stages 10 and 11 were relatively drama-free for the pair, but on stage 12 a faulty fuse caused the car to lose its lights, and although they returned intermittently, eventually the car was plunged into complete darkness. They were forced to retire as a result, but would return thanks to Super Rally after the next service, and with some 10 minutes dropped, they'd fallen to 106th overall. Lynn Davis, in his own words, was still very much a novice to rallying on gravel, and with this also being his first Roger Albert Clark rally, he was very happy to still be experiencing the buzz around the event in his home nation stages. Lynn was now locked in a battle with former Wales Motorsport driver Fintan McGrady for 115th overall, with both on a total time of 1 hour, 4 minutes, 9 seconds after 8 stages. The battle was clearly helping Lynn to gain more confidence. He was looking visibly quicker here, and the times also reflected that growing confidence, with him moving up 7 positions after stage 9. Through the remaining stages of the day, Davis and Richards continued their form, utilising stage knowledge gained from running in the Welsh Historic Championship in 2023. They climbed a further 4 places to finish day 2 in 104th overall. With just over a minute separating them from the top 100, it was all to play for, with 3 full days of rallying still to go. As day 2 drew to a close, we rejoined the lead Wales Motorsport cars of Paul Barrett and Sasha Kirkcaldy, and we managed to grab a quick word with them at the start of the day's last stage, Havering South.
Tough, but yeah, enjoying it, really good. The pace is unreal out there, unbelievable. But listen, we're just doing, just trying my best and just trying to keep it as clean as I can. I want to keep it on the road. There's a lot of rallying to be done yet, so just want to keep pushing on as best I can. Gordy's doing a good job. It's really down to me, so listen, we'll keep tipping away.
And how's the car been?
Yeah, car's good. Yeah, car's good. Again, that's myself, I think. Too old.
Yeah, it's been good so far. We've been making progress, and then we drop a bit of progress, and then we make a bit more progress, and then we drop a bit more progress. But I'll tell you what, that last stage, Sweet Lamb Haffron in the dark, some stage, like incredible. I don't know whether we were fast or slow, but great fun. So, and I think James liked it as much as I did. So, which generally means that we're neat and tidy.
Brilliant. And how's your Wales Motorsport car been?
Oh, the car's fantastic. Like, it hasn't dropped a beat all the way through. Yeah, we love being in one of these, obviously.
And why a Mark II Escort? Why not any other car?
I don't know, Marion. In truth, I love the team. I think they're just so together. It's so easy to work with them, and it just takes all the stress out of it. And I've always loved Mark IIs. Of course, everyone who grew up in my era loves Mark IIs, right? Remember seeing them in the forest, so yeah, love it.
A blistering pace and 13th fastest on the stage saw Sasha jump to 16th overall in the standings. Now we can join 6th placed man Paul Barrett on board for a glimpse of what forestry rallying at night looks like.
For junction plus 150. One right into one left, into right over small crest hook, easy past the lay by double caution crest, square right narrow, repeat, see it now, crest square right narrow and slippy, 40, 6 left, in and hairpin right long narrow, repeat hairpin right long narrow into left and one left through the posts and crest and 3 right tightens in, big crest 3 right tightens in, 6 left very slippy, tidy Paul hook.
Dramatically midway through the stage, an innocuous piece of bedrock unearthed by rally traffic slashed open the rear right tyre, causing an instant puncture for Barrett and Noble. They limped on, but with over 3 miles left of the stage they were forced to stop and change the tyre. Over 3 minutes were lost, and once back underway they quickly realised the front right tyre was also flat, and with only one spare which they'd already used, they had no choice but to limp through to the end. In all, over 6 minutes were lost, and they ended the day in 14th overall. So at the end of a dramatic day 2 the results looked like this, and as the drivers made their way north, the Wales Motorsport team utilised a local farm building to re-prepare the cars before loading them onto a car transporter to make the long journey north. Next stop, Scotland. A Forest, Dumfries. Overnight temperatures in the area had plummeted, and with a ground temperature of -10 in places, a thick layer of frost covered the stages. With the risk of patchy ice on the car's driving lines, the opening test of the day would have to be treated with the utmost respect. A slight change to the running order saw Chris Cleghorn rejoin the event under the Super Rally rules, and his was the first Wales Motorsport car to come into view. And after some investigation by the team, yesterday's light problem had been traced to a 10-pence fuse, which had blown after damage to the spot lamps, following a brief excursion into a ditch on the Sweet Lamb stage. With conditions unpredictable at best, Chris understandably took a cautious approach in A, feeling his way through the opening kilometres. But with the bright winter sun rising, visibility was hampered in places, and this resulted in Chris making a slight error and spending nearly 12 minutes in a ditch, where he was helped back onto the road by the army of spectators at the scene. The remainder of the day would then be relatively trouble-free for Chris and Ryland, but it was clear the Scottish stages suited Chris's driving style far better than the Welsh leg. A number of top 50 stage times meant Chris, who'd started the day in 112th place overall, would fight back into the top 100 places to end the day in 98th position. Following that double puncture in the last stage of day 2, Havering South, Paul Barrett and Gordon Noble were aiming to claw back some of the lost time on the super-fast flowing Scottish stages. As they blasted through the ice-covered, picture-perfect scenery, the bark of their Wales Motorsport RS 1800 could be heard for miles. But as they exited this black ice-covered square left, all was clearly not well with the car. Paul was complaining that a lack of revs from the car was hampering his progress, yet still he pushed on.
3 left into 3 left in into 1 right, 60 crest, 4 left in here, watch the ditch outside, 1 right through dip 2 plus, 170, 2 left in plus, 60 slowing, keep right, brake, sudden crest, square left, keep right, brake, crest, sudden square left, hook, second gear into 2 right, 40, line 4 right, left in plus, 2 right in plus, 200, 2 left in plus, 100, over crest, sudden turn acute right, get the handbrake and get the drive out of here if you can.
Further into the stage, this stall at a spectator hairpin resulted in yet further time loss, and sadly at the end of stage 15 the pair were forced to retire from the event, and so the dream was over for another year. Day 3 for Sasha Kakad and James Aldridge would begin with a cautious start. With the weather conditions as they were, the pair were expecting more ice in the stages and for grip to be an issue. This wasn't the case, however, and grip levels were far better than expected. So, after the opening stage, they remained in 16th position. We joined them on board through stage 16, Dalbeatty.
Left on crest at top into short 6 right, and 6 right, 60, 5 right over crest, 80 down, to short 5 right, 5, 80 down, short 5 right, brake 60, short 3 left. 3 left, and 6 left, and 5 right, don't cut, 5 left, 5 right, and tight 4 right, don't cut, there, care, short 4 left, 4 right over bump, brake 60 over crest, and 2 left, half long.
The theme of patchy ice continued as the pair took on Dalbeatty and the first run of Glen Gap. 2 consistent stage times here, and although not easy, the pair felt they'd had a good run through. A 2-place move up the leaderboard suggested their feeling was spot on. On to Glen Caird 1, and with sections of the stage overgrown with grass and moss, grip would be an issue. A slightly wide line towards the end of the stage resulted in a rear puncture, forcing them to carry on for nearly 4 miles and losing over 2 minutes in the process.
2 left in at sign. And 4 right, and 4 left, don't cut, and late 3 right, and 5 left over crest, 6 right, 100.
The remaining day stages would then be clean and problem-free, the pair taking the decision just to try and survive the now heavily rutted reruns of Glen Caird and Glen Gap, and they ended the day in 14th position. Geraint and Eric Davis had been going about their 2023 Roger Albert Clark Rally somewhat under the radar. Having started the event seeded at 84, they'd been driving their own rally and sticking to their game plan, and in doing so had battled their way up some 50 places as they started the 72 stage mile 3rd day. The opening test had now thawed for the most part, but it still held a few hidden ice patches. Not wanting to undo their hard work thus far, the pair took a sensible approach, finishing the stage in a time of 10 minutes 8 seconds, just 2 seconds in front of their Wales Motorsport teammates Chris Cleghorn and Ryland James. Amazingly, the Davis pairing continued to climb the leaderboard, gaining a further 3 places to jump up to 32nd overall after stage 18. With stages 19 and 22 cancelled, 2 more night stages lay in front of them, and with their best stage time of the event so far, by the end of day 3 a further 5 places had been gained, so they finished the day inside the top 30 in 28th overall. Stage 15A was stopped, meaning Lynn Davis and Aled Richards missed the chance to compete on the day's opener. So, Stage 16, Dalbeattie, was their first of the day. Sitting just outside the top 100 as they started the day, Lynn was keen to gain some ground on the cars in front, and despite struggling with the rough stage conditions, his growing pace was evident, and 3 places were gained, so the pair now sat inside that top 100. Consistency is key on marathon-type events such as the RAC, and the smooth, low-risk style of Lynn, combined with the experienced co-driving skills of Aled Richards alongside, was starting to pay off. As others around them fell away, they would continue to improve their standings, to end the day in 97th overall. So the standings after a tricky day 3 were as follows. With day 3 over, the rally headed for Kielder, and with 2 more days and 165 stage miles still to cover, there was still a very long way to go. On the shores of Kielder water, the rally now moved into the infamous Kielder forest. Gone with the sun and sharp frost of yesterday, but with the longest day of the rally at over 88 stage miles ahead of them, the remaining Wales Motorsport crews knew this was going to be a long and arduous day. The day's action would start with 2 back-to-back runs of Kershup, and with low cloud and intermittent rain showers, conditions would once again be challenging. Sasha Kakad and James Aldridge came into day 4 in 11th position, with a healthy 2-minute lead over Irishman Barry McKenna, but would ultimately be aiming to gain ground on the cars in front of them and make up for some of the time lost with a puncture the previous day. Reports from the crews finishing the first pass of Kershup would be that of the road surface polishing, and it was clear to see that the roads were becoming increasingly slippery in places. Kakad passed 3 cars who'd come unstuck in the first 3 miles of the stage. He looked smooth, but more importantly fast, and a 10th overall stage time was a very encouraging start to the day. The second pass-through resulted in another 10th overall stage time, but luckily the pair escaped after having had quite a sizable moment near the end of stage 24. Running wide, they clipped a verge, which thankfully spat them back out onto the road, where they could collect themselves and carry on. Setting a fantastic time of 17:54 in Mount Common, 7th fastest overall, the pair were now clearly enjoying their rally, and although struggling a bit for rhythm through Harwood, a very rough, narrow, high-speed stage, they headed into service with 2 stages left to run, very happy with their progress so far. We now join Geraint Davis on board through stage 24, the second running of Kershup, where co-driver Eric Davis offers some words of encouragement.
3 right in, keep in, push, and flat push, push, flat crest, and 2 left, tightens the long, 4 left, keep in, 100, flat crest, 40, tight, 3 left in.
Day 4's opening stage for car number 84 was a successful one, 17th overall, and now beating BHRC regulars. You'd think Geraint had been driving an Escort for years. Throughout the day, the pair set a number of top 20 stage times, but were struggling with a lack of grip. The slippery, polished surface was making the rear of the car very nervous, and after some high-speed moments hampered progress, the pair backed off slightly to make sure they reached the service halt before the final 2 night stages of the day. Having moved up into the top 100, Lynn Davis and Aled Richards were now the third Wales Motorsport crew on the road. They were currently 97th overall, just one place in front of their teammates Chris Cleghorn and Ryland James. As they made their way through Kirshop 1 and 2, there were cars off everywhere, meaning in places Lynn had to slow down to safely navigate past. Our camera caught one of those moments as Conrad Boss was being pulled out of a ditch. Lynn made his way through, but all that slowing down meant time lost. Incredibly, by the end of the second run through Kirshop, Lynn and Aled had made up 7 places to move up to 90th overall, showing many that a consistent pace and low-risk strategy pays off. Steady runs through Mount Common and Harwood would follow, and with another place gained, they headed back into service with 2 more stages in the dark ahead of them. Chris Cleghorn had, by his own admission, been lacking in confidence to push and was finding the stages very tricky. After super rallying from day 2 onwards, the main focus now was to make sure he, with Ryland James alongside, enjoyed themselves, but also made it to the end of the event. Locked in battle with teammate Lynn Davis, Chris was in 2 minds whether to push or just continue to drive his own rally. Sadly, some clutch problems put pay to any thoughts of pushing, and he would lose over 13 minutes to the leaders in the day's opener. But after a quick service between the Kirshop runs, his Wales Motorsport service crew carried out some fantastic work to help him get back up to speed, where he'd claw a minute back on teammate Lynn Davis and move up 5 places to 95th overall. A fantastic turn of speed over the last 2 daylight stages of the loop saw Chris gain confidence, and with stage times now in the top 60s, he clawed back much of the time he'd lost in the morning. As he headed back into service, he was now back into 90th position overall. We headed to service to catch up with the crews before they tackled the final 2 stages of the day.
Sash, we're getting towards the end of day 4, a couple of night stages now. I think you're up to 10th overall, but how's it been going?
Yeah, it's been going pretty well. We had a puncture yesterday, which cost us a couple of minutes. But it was very tricky in there this morning first thing. I think there was sort of 4 or 5 cars off in the first part of the stage. So some of it's been really good rallying, and other bits you've just got to be cautious, you know. So it's trying to measure what grip you've got and try and use it to the best of your ability, I suppose.
I'm finding it good, yeah. Enjoying myself, most of it enjoyable anyway. It's very slippy out there. And yeah, so last 2 stages went not the best, so we'll see. Hopefully we can tidy stuff up for the next 2 stages in the dark and maybe closing back time back again. So I think we lost a bit to the people around us anyway. So yeah, we'll see. We'll just try and keep it neat and tidy because the cars are all over the place at the minute.
Pretty tough today. A lot of the stages have been very, very rough indeed when we're going through at the back of the field. But it's a big learn, and you know, if we want to get to the front of the field, we've got to get results and get better seeding, haven't we? So it's down to us. But it still reminds me how bulletproof these cars are. You know, the punishment they take is just unbelievable. So we all know Merrin builds an amazing car, but I've just got to learn to drive it a bit faster for him now, haven't I? Really, but yeah, we're having a great day.
Not bad. We're here. A bit rough, but yeah, otherwise it's still going. Yeah, thank God. The first stage cancelled for us yesterday morning, so we didn't see A at all. And then yeah, the last couple of stages last night it started icing over again. So I didn't feel it, but Lynn said it's quite slippy, and other drivers are complaining as well. So yeah, it was slippy, but yeah, got through them. We finished, so you know it's a marathon and it's not a sprint.
Absolutely, there's a lot of people retired, but the key thing is you're still in the event.
Exactly, yeah, and fingers crossed we'll get through tonight again now. There's 2 stages to go and then see what tomorrow brings in.
The day's 2 remaining stages were reruns of Mount Common and Harwood, but this time run in the dark. Before the first stage could get underway, sadly the clutch issue that had hampered Chris Cleghorn throughout the day would return, and with not enough time in service to fix it, he and co-driver Ryland James would be forced to sit out the day's remaining stages, but the pair would return for the final day tomorrow. Laying in a fine 10th position overall, Sasha Kakad and James Aldridge's rally came to a dramatic end on SS27. They were caught out on a long, fast right-hand bend that tightened, rolling the car onto its side. But sadly for them, no spectators were around to help them back on, and with the time loss and the damage caused, they would retire from the event.
Right on crest, 5 left, into 4 right, into 4 left, don't cut, over crest.
A trouble-free run for Geraint and Eric Davis, with 2 top 20 times, again showed their nighttime driving abilities, and they headed into the final day in a brilliant 19th overall. Lynn Davis and Aled Richards' day came to a close with another 2 positions gained. A solid job from them both on what had been a difficult day's rallying. With just 1 day remaining, the overall standings looked like this. And so to Monday, and the final day of the 2023 Roger Albert Clark Rally. For the crews who just made it this far, it was a huge achievement in itself, but with 77 miles of rallying still to complete, there could yet be a sting in the tail. As the leading Wales Motorsport crew, Geraint and Eric Davis had spent the event steadily scaling the leaderboard. Taking advantage of the many crews who'd fallen away, they'd driven brilliantly, a measure of consistency over the previous 4 days. Now they headed into the first of the final day's 5 stages, taking in some iconic forestry such as Shepherd's Shield and Pundershaw, intent on keeping their fine 19th place overall. The stage was very muddy, and with grip levels inconsistent at best, they recorded a time of 7 minutes 8 seconds, joint 25th overall, and whilst not their strongest stage, importantly they moved up a further position to 18th overall. The next 3 stages would then go more smoothly, with them gaining another position in SS30, but some time lost on 31 and 32 meant heading into the very last stage of the rally, the 39-mile behemoth aptly named the Big One, locked in battle with 3-time RAC winner Steve Bannister. Could they make up a 26-second deficit? We'd soon find out. Up to this point, Lynn Davis and Aled Richards had mainly been battling just inside the top 100, but a push up the leaderboard on day 4 had seen them rise to 87th overall. With a finish in their heads from the offset, they'd done exactly the job they set out to do, but would need to continue their fine form over the next 5 stages to achieve their ultimate goal. With the rain now set in for the day, the already slippery conditions had worsened, and with their Wales Motorsport Ford Escort sliding around, this would be a nervy time for the pair. Over the course of the next 4 stages, they set some fantastic times, and heading into the last stage of the rally, they'd gained a further 5 positions since the day's opening stage. With a mere 39-mile-long single stage to contend with, a fully concentrated drive was called for in the ever-deteriorating conditions. It's fair to say that Chris Cleghorn and Ryland James had had their fair share of highs and lows throughout the first 4 days of this year's Roger Albert Clark Rally. They'd twice super rallied and also spent over 10 minutes in a Scottish ditch in A. But in the same breath, they'd had some fantastic turns of speed, which had propelled them from almost last in the standings at one point, all the way back up to 96th overall as the final day got underway. With the car now fully fixed, a determined Chris had a finish in his sights, but also wanted the final day to be one to remember. So he set off into the day with a steely determination of getting through, but also moving upwards. The pair gained 5 positions in the opening 2 stages of the day, and a further 4 by the time they reached the stop line of the penultimate stage, Hope House. As they made their way to the start line of the final stage, they were now 87th overall. This was it, the big one. 39 miles of Kielder's finest, the sting in the tail for our remaining crews. Who would come out on top, and indeed, who wouldn't make it out? For Geraint, Lynn and Chris, the dream of finishing the Roger Albert Clark Rally 2023 was very nearly a reality, and as they made their way past our cameras for a final time, we headed over to the finish area. As the leading crews crossed the finish line and celebrated victory and the amazing achievement, we waited, hoping to see the 3 remaining Wales Motorsport cars make it over the finish line. Amazingly, Geraint and Eric Davis had done it, fighting all the way to the end. They moved up a further 2 positions on the final stage to come home in an incredible 15th position overall, the biggest gain on seeding of any car in the whole event. A truly phenomenal effort.
It feels fantastic, yeah. Especially after that long 39-mile stage, yeah. Yeah, very happy. Yeah.
And was the stage a challenging one for you?
It was. I think it's the best I've driven all week, I think, according to Eric anyway. So that's a good thing. Yeah, making improvements all the way through the week, so it's finally came together in the last one, really. Yeah.
And how has your Wales Motorsport machinery underneath you been the whole week?
It's been fantastic. Run effortlessly all week, no problems at all. Yeah, really happy.
Fantastic. Well, massive congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you in 2025.
Oh yeah, hopefully anyway. We'll see how it goes.
Chris Cleghorn and Ryland James were the second crew to come through the finish. Having passed a stricken Lynn Davis and Aled Richards in the stage, they eventually finished 79th overall, gaining 8 places in the final stage.
Just disbelief, really. It's been absolutely tough. But huge thanks to Marion and this car. And this chap next to me, Ryland, who got me through it. It's probably 10% me and 90% the combination of these guys, but what an adventure. Amazing. There's loads of cars back off there again, and then it's a cruel rally for a lot of people, but we made it through. We got a couple of dints and a couple of dengs, but hey, we're here, which is all we wanted to do, so one very happy guy. Thank you very much.
Lynn Davis and Aled Richards had also done it. They'd managed to finish the Roger Albert Clark. Limping through the final stage with damage, they slowed to let teammates Chris and Ryland past, but little did they know that they were still climbing the leaderboard. A further 4 places were gained by the pair, which left them a superb 78th overall and just 1 place in front of Chris and Ryland.
Excellent. Yeah, magic. Yeah, we got some damage. Yeah, well, don't know what.
And how was the big one for you? How was this massive stage for you?
Well, we only did a bit of it, because they cut it, didn't they? Yeah.
And in a nutshell, how has the Wales Motorsport car been?
Magic. Yeah.
Fantastic.
You build a big car, don't you? Yeah.
The Roger Albert Clark Rally 2023 was now complete. Of the 7 Wales Motorsport cars that entered, just 3 made it all the way to the finish line. A special thank you goes out to all the Wales Motorsport team members who made this event so special. Without all of you, this would simply just not be possible. You've been watching the Roger Albert Clark Rally 2023 Wales Motorsport documentary. I'm Mark James, and on behalf of everyone behind the scenes, thanks for watching and goodbye.